Good evening, race fans. Welcome to the Darlington Raceway and the Core Racing Network. Tonight is championship night here for the Lucas Oil Multiclass Series, and it's going to be a good one here for sure. The Pro 4 division already wrapped up by Chris Hamilton last week. He is your Pro 4 division points champion, but second place still very much up for grabs as John Nobinger enters the night with a 15-point lead over Thaddeus Marshall and a 16-point lead over Dane Simpson. Both those guys still very much mathematically in the hunt for second place. Pro 2 Light Division is going to be the one we're going to be watching for most of the night here as Abi Vishwasam enters the night with the points lead by 9 points, only 9 points over Dave Poplinski. So those guys will certainly be locked in a battle, and really, how these guys do in qualifying could be very huge. I mean, obviously, you got the qualifying points that are out there, 5 being what goes to the pole sitter, and 4, 3, 2, 1 going down from there. So if you got one guy qualifying on the pole, the other guy qualifying outside the top 5, that's a big swing in points right there. So we'll see how everything works out. But again, it's championship night. We're going to see a brand new champion in core, whether it is Abi or Dave. And it's well deserved. Both those guys had really good runs this season in the Pro 2 Light Division. But a man that's still looking for his first championship will join me in the booth here in Jimmy Covert. So Jimmy, what's it looking like out there tonight?
Well, I don't know if I should respond after that comment, but it's looking pretty good out there, and my focus is in other directions of the longer caliber. So, but anyways, it looks like these guys are gonna have a good time out there. Not a real big field, but I mean, it's gonna be wide open pack racing. Probably some drafting. The Pro 4s are gonna be much faster, and it's gonna give the Pro 2s maybe a little bit of challenge. Trying to race each other, where a championship's at stake. And these guys just trying to get by to actually win the race, but. There's much more to look forward to, as obviously the Pro 4, second place isn't all tied up yet, so you don't know what's going to happen tonight, Carl.
Absolutely not. And looking back, I mean, ever since Laguna Seca back over a month ago at this point, all the way back on April 4th, that's the last time that Vishwasam has finished ahead of Poplinski. The 2 doubleheaders following that at USA, Poplinski finished second in both those races, with Abi finishing in 5th in both of those. And then at Sonoma 2 weeks ago, with Dave winning both those races and Abi finishing in 2nd. So, he's definitely gotten the better of Abi in the past month here, but he still has 9 points he's got to make up, and it starts right now. It starts in qualifying. We'll see how these guys do here as they got 5 minutes of qualifying, see who's going to grab those ever important qualifying points to maybe scratch into that lead a little bit more. If Dave can get ahead, it looked like in qualifying, B definitely had some speed, and I believe he was ahead of Poplinski on the scoring tables. And yeah, if I'm seeing that right, he's about a second faster than Poplinski. But it all depends on where and when these guys were out there. Obviously, if they're out there in the draft, that's certainly going to make a big difference.
Oh yeah, the draft's gonna play a pretty big part tonight, as it's not huge, but it's enough to tow each other along. And if you can utilize making sure you get smooth corners and keep that flow of that vehicle going, you can be that much faster and pull away with these guys. But we'll see how they do tonight. Obviously Dave's got a bit of a challenge and try to overcome those few points, but then it all starts here as he's out there putting down his qualification laps now.
I think the other wrench that's getting thrown in there is Ricky Gonzalez. He also has a win on the season. In his 5 starts, he has 1 win, and the rest were top 5. So he's certainly going to be a guy to battle against these guys. And he has a pretty quick time up there, too, as he was the fastest of the 3 in practice. Again, did see a lot of bump drafting and a lot of drafting in general. So that could have played a big part into his practice time, as Poplinski is the first one to lay a time down in the Pro 2 Lights at a 45.2. Certainly, well off the pace of the practice session. So maybe all three of those guys had some drafting help in that practice. So we'll see what the actual times are now in qualifying. Crane, the only one out there right now for the Pro 4s that laid down a time at a 38.9.
Yeah, definitely. You're gonna see these guys, be close. I think, and they obviously don't have the draft, so, from their times from practice to now, you can see the difference, and you can see right now, even with the qualification, they're about 6 seconds apart.
Big improvement there from Poplinski as he jumps up to a 44.5, so that'll certainly help him out. Ricky Gonzalez first lap at a 45.126. So right now Poplinski would be sitting on the pole of that Pro 2 light division out there right now. Vishavasham looking to put down his first lap, and it is the slowest of the three so far at a 45.5, so certainly going to have to pick it up in the second one. But I think what's going to be interesting is Darlington is typically known for that high groove, and that's pretty much the only place you can go. Technically, you can make it too wide and even go through the corners, even though it's really sketchy no matter what car you're driving. But typically, it is all above that last set of dotted lines all the way at the top where you see Vishavasham right now. But with the speed these trucks are going, or maybe lack thereof, I'm wondering how much of this track they can actually utilize, and if they can even go all the way down to the bottom of that apron, or if it just scrubs off too much speed.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't get a chance to get in early enough to see where everybody was running, or even if they're gonna try that. I would sure imagine that during the race, somebody's gonna try to pull that move, whether it's in the Pro 2s or the 4s. So it looks like Abi is finished up his qualifying with starting in third. So, Dave's starting off with, where he needs to be, and it's going to make this even a closer race here with Abi qualifying third and Dave on the pole.
Yeah, I mean, right there, again, like we said, qualifying points are up for grabs, and Dave just went out there and got himself 2 more points than a B. So that 9-point lead that he came into the session with is now down to 7. So it's really going to be important here where these guys finish. Again, it's only a 3-man battle here in this race, but it's not like it's 1 point difference in between the 3 positions. First place gets 25 points, second gets 18, third place gets 15. If we get another guy in there for that division, that place in fourth would get 12. But I mean, if Dave can somehow figure out a way to win this race, no matter what happens, he would have at minimum 7 points more, at least race points, than Poplinski, than Vishavasham. That would be enough to get him tied with him, and with that win, it would tie him on wins, but unfortunately, a B would be able to get him on the top 5 tiebreaker. So really going to be interesting, because this thing could go down to tiebreakers depending on if these guys keep it clean or not. So, I mean, for B, really all he has to do is keep the car clean and finish in second place to guarantee himself the championship.
Yeah, and I think that's going to pose a little bit of an issue with Ricky being as fast as he is. So, he's not going to be able to just lay back and just kind of chill and make sure he gets the championship. He's actually going to have to battle a little bit and drive this truck tonight.
So we will keep you updated and try and keep you updated during the race of the point situation. Obviously, we can't see if these guys have a 0x or not, so that could be 3 points that swing one way or another. But we'll go ahead and take a look at the qualifying results. Jimmy, why don't you give us a rundown?
Yeah, for tonight, it looks like for the Pro 4s, we have Thaddeus Marshall on the pole with Paul Owens in second, Dane Simpson in third, Matt Crockett in fourth, John Crane in fifth, and then John Nobinger and Paul Butler. It shows they had no time, so I don't know if they just got in late or whatnot. But for the Pro 2s, you have Dave Poplinski on the pole, Ricky Gonzalez in second, and Abi in third.
So looking back, as we said, the Pro 2 lights obviously have their day in the sun tonight as they'll be fighting for first and second in the points. But that second place battle for the Pro 4 division is definitely going to shake it up, as well as, we talked about it. If you don't qualify, or, you get out there, brush the wall, and don't get any laps in, it can cost you. And it's cost John Nobinger 5 bonus points to Thad Marshall. Thad getting 5 points right there. That brings him to 10. So now only 10 points separating him and Nobinger for that second place in the points. And even Dane Simpson starting third, he's going to get 3 points there over Nobinger. So he is now only 13 points behind as well. So a lot can happen here tonight as these guys pull off and go for their pace lap here with Thad on the pole, Paul Owens in second. And on top of everything else, you're going to have Nobinger and Butler that are going to have to start behind the Pro 2 lights. If they're even out there. I mean, I'm not even showing them on the track right now unless I'm missing something.
I do not see them. I tried clicking there on John Nobinger, and he is definitely not on the tracker at the moment.
So that could be a huge turning point there if Nobinger doesn't get in the session here. I mean, he could start from pit lane and maybe catch up to these guys and especially get in there if there is a caution, but that will possibly sacrifice the second place in the points right there if he does not show up at all. But pace lights are out on the pace car. Pace car diving down to the bottom. We're getting ready to go green here at Darlington. Again, Marshall will lead them to the green. But, you know, keep an eye on the front of that pack and keep an eye on the back of that pack with the Pro 4s in the front, Pro 2 lights in the back. Green flag in the air. It's time to hammer down.
And there they go. Let's see what these guys can do these first initial laps and how hard they're actually going to battle.
Yeah, you know, Paul Owens up there on the outside. He's got nothing really to lose in this race. He's not in the points battle, so he's going to fight his damnedest to try and do what he can with these guys. And, you know, Dane being right behind there, you know he wants a lap lead to try and get that bonus point as well to try and help him out. But right now, Marshall doing a pretty good job on the inside holding off Owens, but Owens getting a little testy with him, and as they look to possibly go 3 wide, but Dane Simpson going to back it off, fall back in line. I mean, 75 laps in this race, but no shocker that these guys are going at each other's throats right away.
Yeah, no, it's definitely no shock at all. These guys have been like this, you know, the whole season. And we'll go ahead back and see how the Pro 2s are going here, and it looks like Obby's have found his way around and is in the inside of Ricky Gonzalez.
Yeah, big move right there with Abhi leading that first lap. Even if that's the only lap that he leads tonight, that could be a very, very big bonus point. And at the very least, cancel out any bonus points for leading a lap for Dave Poplinski as Dave looks to try and make this 3 wide on the inside, and now here's what we're talking about. You know, can they use more than just that top groove? As Dave's going to go in there and pull a bit of a slider. Not really going to stick, but I guess sticking enough. And now he will slide up in front of Abhi and in front of Gonzalez. Pull a little bit of a blocker as Gonzalez gets into the wall, but that's the kind of moves that Dave is going to need to make tonight. And, you know, you may have to try and rough up Abhi a little bit because he needs to make sure that Abhi doesn't come away with those 3 bonus points. Obviously, Dave wants to come away with them, but, you know, if he thinks that Abhi is going to get those bonus points as well, it actually benefits him just to make sure that that he doesn't. I mean, it's a shame to say that, but, you know, you're points racing, and this is a battle for the championship right now. You got to do everything you can to try and help your cause.
Yeah, just you kind of wonder how close they're actually following their own points, and you know what is needed for tonight. So, you know, I know if I was in a points championship race, I know I would be watching that stuff. So, but it looks like we'll go back to the front here, see what's kind of working out here. As it looks like Dane Simpson's on the outside of yeah, that was Thaddeus Marshall. So he's back. He's in the lead now.
Yeah, Dane Simpson getting a bonus point there for leading the lap, so he is still trying to throw his hat in the ring for that second place in the points. Marshall looking to the inside into turn 3. A little bit tighter in turn 3 if you're not used to it. I mean, you see it on the track map right there. Turn 1 and 2 are a bit wider and a lot easier to drive in pretty much any car. And turn 3 and 4 a little bit tighter, mainly in 3. And then you have to worry about the exit of 4. But these guys are throwing caution in the wind on both sides and even scraping up against the wall a little bit there, even in turn one. So you see up front once again in the other division is Abi Vishvas. I'm not sure if he led that lap or not, or if that was Ricky, but either way, Abi has led a lap and got that bonus point. And looks like Poplinski was shuffled back to the back again, but this is going to be a long, almost endurance-style race for these guys. Only 3 guys out there nose to tail right now. And, these guys will probably get in about maybe 70, 72 laps. So, really, you got to wonder, do you really want to lead or do you want to kind of follow? And maybe that's what Dave is thinking right now, just kind of following and trying to save some gas because these things are going to need some pit stops, at least one. Could be fuel strategy when it comes down to the end.
Oh.
And some battling right there between the championship guys. Going to send a B up into the wall. Is going to be able to get off and get in the draft again. If he loses that draft, that could be extremely huge for him.
Yeah, if he loses that draft, and this thing goes green, it could be all but over. As the Pro 4s are coming up on their tail right now as Dane Simpson and Thaddeus Marshall are Dane with the outside move. They got Abi in the middle.
Look at these guys dancing around. A little bit of contact right there between Owens and Marshall as these guys go all over the place. See Crockett way down on the bottom there in that bluey machine. Dane Simpson going to get through there the cleanest, and he's going to try and stretch out that lead. But you see even back there, wow. I mean, that's the first time we see that at lap 8. Certainly not going to be the last. You're going to probably see that about 10 more times the way it seems at the rate that these guys are going. And again, that's what's really going to have to play into it. If these guys come down to a fuel strategy, they got to figure out how many laps they're actually going to run. They're not going to run 75. They're already a lap down right now, not even 10 laps into the race. So you got to start trying to figure out as soon as possible, roughly how many laps am I going to be down? How many laps of fuel do I actually need as a couple more guys here in the Pro 4 division come up on the back? Big shot right there. And that is going to send us into our first caution as well. And that is your championship leader, Vishu Vassam, having a very damaged truck. Take a look at it again, and you see these Pro 4s just get extremely run up on. And you see right there the 77 slamming on the brakes, but the 11 not getting woed up enough. And unfortunately, that turns the 77 of Butler down into Vishu Vassam, who hits the outside wall absolutely hard. And wow, pretty spectacular move there. We'll try and give you one more shot there of the gravedigger machine of John Crane as he just got sent once a B hit the wall. But that is a shame for both of those guys. As everything was nice and hunky-dory coming down here, about halfway down the straightaway, but then right there, Gonzalez moves to the outside. And that was just death for these Pro 4s. They thought maybe they'd be able to get to the outside by the turn, but Gonzalez just holding his line and maybe not looking back at what was going on behind him, but right there, big hit into the wall. And then, I mean, you hate to laugh about it, but what a shot. And that sends Crane up and out of the stadium. So, yeah, rough time. But, you see right there, the rest of Vassam getting his fast repair, but that's going to be big. I mean, he is now a lap down in third place and pretty much locked in third place. Can't do anything about that right now unless he gets another caution to get him back up there. So big turn of events here, especially in the favor of Poplinski.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be in the favor of Poplinski. Now he'll be fighting that, to get that, maybe that lucky dog. But you never know. How are we going to do that with 2 series, and technically, right now he's the only truck 1 lap down overall, and John Crane is 2 laps down. But if John were to lap him, then they're both 1 lap down and would get back in front of him, and there's a caution. Who gets the lucky dog?
very interesting. I mean, realistically, it should be a driver from each division that would get the lucky dog. Haven't really run into that situation at all this season, but you figure that that's got to be the way it should be handled.
Yeah, I would imagine that's the way we should probably handle it, since it's, you know, two different divisions running on an oval circuit.
All right, while these guys get lined back up, I'll let you give a rundown of everybody that is out there. I'm going to hop up and talk to these drivers real quick and make sure they know of the rules that we're going to be doing here tonight.
Sounds good, Carl. And currently, right now, we have it looks like we have Paul Owens in the lead with Paul Butler behind him in second, with Dane Simpson in third, Matt Crockett in fourth. Thaddeus Marshall has moved back to fifth place. And then for the Pro 2s, you have Ricky Gonzalez, Dave Popolinski, and Abhi Vishwasam. So hopefully Abhi can get his lap back here with maybe another caution and get back on a lead lap and give Ricky Gonzalez a run for his money, along with Dave Popolinski, to make this championship, you know, run just that more interesting. So it looks like John Crane is back in sixth place of the Pro 4s with John Nobringer. It looks like he did get out, so he's currently 2 laps. Yeah, he's 2 laps down, or 4 laps down. So this here will give him a chance to at least get out there and run a little bit tonight. So as he's in the Bigfoot machine. In the
So
Lake Sar.
if both these guys are still a lap down, the first person on or in each division will get their lap back. So that at least works out a little bit in the favor of Vishwasam, since he's the only one in the Pro 2 Light division a lap down. He would be the lucky dog. But right now, Owen's getting ready to lead these guys back to green. He gets on an early out of turn 4, and he's going to lead these guys down the front stretch here with Butler in second. So a bit of a shakeup in the order here. And right now, it looks like Crane is back there in the back of this pack, 2 laps down. Nominger, having those issues getting in here, is 4 laps down. So certainly, you know, again, it's a shame not being able to get here on time, but that has certainly cost him big time, being 4 laps down. He's going to need a lot more help with the cautions, and you know, you see the cautions certainly can happen with these Pro 4s as fast as they're going, catching up to these Pro 2 lights. If they're not ready for it, incidents can happen. But as wide as this track is, you figure now that that's happened, these Pro 2 lights are going to be looking in their mirrors a little bit more, because they don't want to get run up on that bad again. So really going to be tough for these guys to get their laps back and get back in this race.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit difficult. Now they're a little more aware as these guys continue to race hard. So there's always that chance that something can happen, as, you know, when one car checks up. If if that guy's following too close, he can't see really what's in front of him. And just basically got to watch that back end of the truck. If it starts coming up in the air, you know that he's slowed up. So a lot of times I know when I'm driving, especially ovals, I like to kind of peek my nose out every now and then, you know, unless you're drafting down a straightaway. But usually when you go into a corner, you try to poke your nose just so you can see a little bit, because it is difficult when you're right on somebody's bumper to see what's going on in front of you.
So all alone right now, looks like Dave Popolinski, and I'd say that that truck doesn't sound good, but I think that's just how the Pro 2 light sounds. It's just wound out pretty much as much as it can go to get around this track. But, you know, he's got to figure out a way to catch back up. He's got to figure out a way to get back to Ricky Gonzalez, who is in the lead right now. Vishwasam in front of Gonzalez right now, but, you know, that position really doesn't matter that much. He is in third place, a lap down right now. And slowly catching up to the back of those guys is the 44 of Nominger. But all these guys pretty much spread out throughout the entire track here. And, you know, really the main group of Pro 4s is all by themselves, as Owens is now your leader up there. Ricky Gonzalez pretty much all by himself as the leader of the Pro 2 Light Division, with Vishwasam the lap down right in front of him. And then But Belinsky looks like he's already fallen back into the clutches of the Pro 4 division. So we'll see how these guys navigate around him this time. Obviously, getting around one truck is going to be a lot easier, but getting into the corner, still a little hairy.
Oh, and Dave gets into the wall there a little bit as they go by.
Just single fight now as these guys maybe settle down just a little bit here. Still only lap 19 on this race here, so a lot to go as Marshall gets into the wall. Crane has to dive down below to keep it off of them as Butler sneaking up in there, almost getting to the side of Marshall as they come off the corner side by side. But it still Owens out front with it's like Dane Simpson in second place right behind him.
You see there, John Crane, even though he's a couple laps down, he's definitely trying to fight his way back the hard way. As he's into the inside of their Dane Simpson and looking to get into the inside of Thaddeus Marshall next. Oh, and
yeah, I mean, realistically, if Crane were to somehow get to the lead of this pack and a caution comes out, he would get a 2-for-1 as, you know, getting his one of his laps back by passing the entire field here. He'd one lap down, and then if the caution came out, he'd be the lucky dog and would get that other lap back. So certainly all to play for John Crane wants to get back into this thing. He needs to get to the front of this pack, hold them off, and just hope beyond hope that there is a caution as we are 2 wide now for the lead. Marshall on the inside of Owens and 2 by 2 behind him as looks like Crane got into to Simpson, who got into the wall there a little bit. I mean, these trucks do take a beating. They're built for off-road, so you know they will be able to get up on the wall a little bit. You don't want to do too much of it, but you know, especially if you're Crane, he's already used his fast repair. Certainly wants to stay off the wall, wants to stay on that inside, but he mainly wants to get that lap back right now.
You know, that Gravedigger machine, you know, comes out here every week and tries to put on a good show. As he already put one on earlier this evening, going into the infield with had to been at least a 720. So definitely come back out here to put a show on for the fans and to keep it going. So he's gonna fight his way back as fast as he can as they come up on Fisher Vassam and Ricky Gonzalez. Ooh, I need to. There we go.
Yeah, he may be 2 laps down right now in 6th place, but he is leading the freestyle points right now, so he's at least got that on his side as they come up on the back of John Nominger, and it's pretty shocking how quick these guys have caught up to another Pro 4. I mean, you know, John was out there by himself, no drafting partner, so it just goes to show you how much this draft means as Big hitting in the wall by the 54 there. But, you know, again, Nominger all by himself out there has now gone back to a 5th lap down. He did get one of those laps back on the last caution, but just making that night even worse for him as he is just stuck back there in 7th place, and he really needed a bit of a wreck fest here to get all those laps back.
Yeah, he definitely was hoping to see some of these guys wreck, and you know, as hard as they're running, it's always a possibility. You know, trying to go in a little faster into the corner, too high, grab the wall. Who knows? Truck could spin around and take people out. So, and obviously with them being able to close down on the Pro 2 so easily, definitely makes things interesting. Oh, as they get together, there he goes, Gravedigger again up over the wall.
Yellow,
And he's stuck in the fence.
That is going to be our second caution. Another big wreck. Certainly pretty much wrapping up the points in the freestyle event for the Gravedigger machine, but not exactly the award that he wanted tonight, as another rough one right there. And that one, again, it just looked like the 11 had really no place to go except out of the track. I mean, he's halfway out of the track right there. I mean, that's gotta hurt. That's gotta hurt when you're inside the truck there. I mean, you got the fence literally eating the fence.
I mean,
that's.
I mean, if you're gonna do it, there's only one way to do it, right? You know, and it looks like he's stuck. He's got a 10.
Yeah.
There's nothing that the Gravedigger can do on that one. Nothing.
He has since left the session, so we'll see if he feels like talking to us at all. John, we got you up in the booth. I'm not sure if you feel like talking at all. As you know, as a consolation, you pretty much have wrapped up the freestyle points with the Gravedigger machine here tonight. Not the award that you wanted, I'm sure, but it's just two positions look like you had really nowhere to go, and both times just a rough situation. And not surprising, not really hearing anything from John right now. So not sure if he is just completely disconnected or not. So we'll maybe try and bring him back a little bit later. But yeah, just a rough night for the 11 car. That's going to bring Nobinger back one more time into the 4-lap down situation, and it's going to allow. Trying to see who is the lucky dogs here. So I will. I'm going to turn this again over to Jimmy and make sure we got everybody on the correct laps here.
Yeah, this definitely should bring Avi Vishwavasan back on a lead lap with Ricky Gonzalez and Dave Pepelinski. So it'll definitely make this race interesting, as these guys will be able to be on the same lap again and you know, be able to fight this thing out to the end from basically like scratch. You know, we're 26 laps into this race so far, and you know, roughly, you know, a little less than 50 laps to go. So third of the race down, and more interesting than I thought it might be tonight with the you know, being on such a wide track. But as these guys see, is things happen, and when the trucks get together, they like to cling on a little bit, and even though they can take a beating, incidents happen.
Can you clear my black instead of past the face car? And I didn't.
It looks like the guys have gone in, and it looks like they've even taken some tires. Instead, you've seen the truck of Thaddeus Marshall. The lefts go up and the rights go up. So fresh tires for some of these guys, and see if this will actually play an advantage for these guys. Because I'm not quite sure on the tire wear on the trucks here tonight, and it could pay out for them. It looks like the pace car is coming off out of turn 4 here, and Thaddeus Marshall is just coming out of the pits. So along with Matt Crockett, and it looks like Avi Vishwavasan. So definitely keep an eye on these guys and give them the opportunity to group all back up before we go back to green. So currently right now, your overall leader is Paul Butler, followed by Dane Simpson, Paul Owens, Thaddeus Marshall, and Matt Crockett. And then John Nobinger and John Crane for your Pro 4s. And then for your Pro 2s, you have Dave Pepelinski in the lead with Ricky Gonzalez and Avi Vishwavasan, which should be back on the lead lap here shortly as we get things squared away here. And it looks like the lights are still on the pace car, so we will continue our yellow flag laps and get the field all sorted out before we go back to green.
All right, so everything's sorted out now, at least with the laps down, as the two guys, one for each division. That one going to be going to Dave Pepelinski, as the rich just get richer. He is the one that was the lucky dog for that one right there. He will get back on the lead lap, and he is the only one on the lead lap there. Actually, it looks like Ricky may be on the lead lap as well. But either way, Pepelinski got the lucky dog for the Pro 2 lights, and Nobinger was able to get a lap back as the lucky dog for the Pro 4. So he is back to 3 laps down now. Slowly crawling his way back in, and you know, we're just past a third of the way through here, so maybe don't count him out yet, but certainly going to need some more things to happen in the right ways for him. And you know, maybe fortunately for Crane, but unfortunately for everybody else, Crane is no longer in this field, so the field getting a little bit smaller here, and we'll see how everything shakes out as these guys are getting ready to go back green.
So I thought Avi was the one that was lapped down. Just out of curiosity.
Pepelinski was the first one. Yeah, he was the first one a lap down. Vishwavasan was actually, it was showing me as that he was 3 laps down. Now it's showing as 2, so not sure what the case was, but yeah, Poplinsky was only 1 lap down, so he was the first car a lap down, so he gets his lap back.
Gotcha.
Getting ready to go back green here. Paul Butler on the loud pedal out of 4. He is going to lead this field down to the green on lap 30 with Dane Simpson right there along with him. These Pro 2s that were mixed up in the middle up there certainly making it a roadblock as they go into one. Couple guys up into the wall, and they try and work their way around. Looks like Marshall will make his way around there in 3rd, followed by the 10 of Crockett and the 54 right now going down the middle of the track, a little bit sideways of Paul Owens. And then you have the Pro 2 lights with John Nominger kind of mixed in the middle there. Looks like maybe he's trying to help out a B there a little bit. Try and get him back into this race here, but a good position as the 54 actually pulls down into the pits. Not sure if he has some kind of issues or if that's a strategy call right there. But again, you know, Poplinsky is in the right spot here. He is the only one on the lead lap in that Pro 2 light division. Ricky Gonzalez is, I believe, a lap down, and then Vishwavasan is 3 laps down. Not sure why the relative for us is showing a little bit different. But according to iRacing, Gonzalez 1 lap down, Vishwavasan 3 laps down. So we'll see how everything shakes out here.
Just do a reload here, see if things will catch up for us.
But as it stands, Poplinsky in the position that he needs to be to get those points and jump ahead of Vishwavasan.
I think what we're seeing here is we're showing our event as the classes separated. Let me see the overall. I can do this. Here. There would be overall.
Okay, there we go. So that's
what iRacing going to be showing. Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah, Ricky with 1 and Vishwavasan with 3. So right now, yeah, Dave Poplinsky's up there by himself. 2, obviously 3, basically 3 laps ahead of Vishwavasan.
It looks like Nominger finally decided, you know what, this was fun for a couple of laps, but it's time for me to show some actual speed out here. And he has gone around those Pro 2 Light Division trucks and has checked out. So back up to the lead here as side-by-side battle with Butler on the outside, Simpson on the inside. Both of these guys would love to finish this season with a win. And a bit of a bump there that didn't seem like it should have upset the trucks that much. It certainly did, though. Everybody finds their way back up on the track. Nothing crazy as Butler may be looking for a little bit of payback there. But he is going to fall back to the back here and in 4th place. Hopefully he can still catch up to these guys. Looks like he is still completely under power, and he just needs to get some... see both those guys diving on the inside, and looks like they are both coming into pit lane. So what I'm thinking is these guys may have gotten that 15x penalty, and they're going to have to serve a drive-through now because neither of those trucks look that damaged to have to pit, and I don't think they're coming in here under strategy after just coming out of a yellow. And you see a little bit of a bump there from the 77 to the 87. I don't think he's too happy about that situation, but that's going to leave a 2-man battle out there for the lead of the Pro 4 division, and the Bluey truck, Matt Crockett, out to the lead. I believe that is the first time we are showing him out there in the lead, as the 96 of Dane Simpson will now fall back in a second. And yeah, I mean, that's one thing we haven't talked about is the potential drive-through penalties for these guys. The trucks will take a lot of beating, but eventually these trucks will get 1, 2, and 4 X's, and they'll tally up quickly, and you get 15 or more, you're going to have to come in and serve that penalty.
Yeah, it's not something I was thinking about. Used to them off-road tracks or dirt races where they have a few extra.
Yeah, on the off-road tracks, they get a bunch. They get 30. They get double the amount on those tracks. So they actually use those to their advantage and actually go off track on purpose sometimes to to take care of that. But it looks like the 77 again coming down pit road. Not sure if he had a pit road penalty. It would pretty much be his MO at this point. I mean,
Paul pit lane
yeah.
Butler.
I feel like he needs to drive multi-class every week with a team member, and maybe just stop at the end of pit road, do a driver change so they can have somebody else drive through the pit road for him, and then he can hop back in the car once the car clears pit road to make sure that car doesn't get any penalties. I mean, we joke about it. It's a tough situation when you get a penalty. It ruins your whole night a lot of the times, and it's pretty much an uphill battle if there's even a chance for you to battle back in there. And that whole sequence right there is going to put him a lap down and possibly 2 laps down to the field. We'll see if it cycles back once he comes back around here, but it looks like he's just going to work on maybe doing some drifting here, unless he's got another penalty. It looks like he's coming back into pit lane and missing pit lane at that. So a bit of a rough night, to say the least, for that Bojangles machine. I mean, certainly giving us a laugh, as it looks like that will certainly be a speeding penalty. I can pretty much guarantee that.
Mr. Bojangles, do the dance, man. A little bit of
there's a dance right there. I mean, he did stick the landing. He stuck the landing, so we'll give him some points for that. But certainly not the way to end the season for Butler. We'll see if maybe he's willing to come into the booth here and talk about it. But wow, I mean, that was certainly rough. But we'll try and bring him in right now and see. Paul, I'm guessing not the way you wanted to end your night right there, but you gave us a little show. You gave us a little laugh, so we appreciate that at the least.
Okay.
It looks like we're having some trouble pulling everybody in here, but we're going to try and pull one more person in here. We wanted to try and announce it last Thursday, but we're going to go ahead and announce it tonight that we're going to have 2 more commentators joining us in the booth here. Not necessarily joining us, but they're going to have their own broadcast team. And that's going to be Dylan McDonald and Wes Fuller. Wes not being able to join us tonight. Had a little bit of an announcement tonight, and I want to wish him a congratulations on the new engagement, the probably long time coming engagement for Wes and his girlfriend or fiance at this point, Samantha. So congrats to them. But the other man is joining us right now in the booth. Dylan, welcome to the booth. Welcome to the CRN family, and certainly happy to have you on board.
Yes, sir. It is actually a big pleasure to hop on board with you guys. Been running with Core for a while, so kind of works out in my favor since I know everybody.
Yeah, it certainly makes these broadcasts fun and interesting, as these guys give you plenty of action on or off the track. It's plenty fun. But going to be joining us for broadcasting on I believe it's going to be Tuesday night in the trucks, Wednesday in the Xfinity, and then Wes is going to join you on Friday nights in the Cup Series. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. I will be in the booth Tuesday and Wednesday by myself, unless I get another person with me, and then me and Wes will be calling the action on Friday.
Yeah, you guys are going to have a lot of fun, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. It's always fun with Wes.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And it's definitely a different type of experience. I mean, it's everything that goes on the track. You know how a lot of these cars handle, and being able to just kind of sit back and watch these guys do battle. It's pretty fun and pretty interesting from the outside for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean I've been in the booth with a couple of my buddies before, and they just wanted a racer's aspect of it all because they don't really race a lot on here. So giving them my input on how tracks and the cars run on different courses actually works to my benefit a lot.
Yeah, definitely with with CRN and the people that we have, and that with you guys joining, you guys have been out there, or not only with multiple vehicles but multiple tracks, and it just makes things so much easier to call, and you can entertain the the fans out there that want to watch. So it's not stale, and you're not digging for information. A lot of it you already know yourself, and makes things a lot of fun. Makes it real easy, and I've heard a couple of your self broadcasts that you've had in the past, and it sounded good. So when we thought about it and talking with Carl stuff, it was just a no brainer, bring you guys on board and just make this big old family.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've been trying to get that Core Faithful badge for a really long time, and I just kidding.
Okay, Boy Scout.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
You're already in the door.
yeah. I mean, I've been in Core since I started iRacing, so I mean, you guys are like a second family to me. So I do appreciate you guys putting me on the broadcast team.
Well, certainly, new to the broadcast side of it for CRN joining us here, but also new to you leading the points over there in the Vintage Series. Talk to us a little bit about how that series has been going for you this year. I mean, obviously only 2 races in, but you seem like you have a pretty good dominant car over there, so it's maybe good on both sides of the mic at this point.
Yeah, I actually took a lot of time to actually practice in the 87s, running a lot of official races, even though I get wrecked out. But it's just a different game. But that car to me is, in my own opinion, is the best car on the service. And when they first came out with them, I was a little, what's the word? Confused, I guess. But
As we all are.
Yeah, I mean, the more you run them, it's a love-hate relationship. And yeah, we are only 2 races in the season, but I do want to continue that momentum I got going on as well. I just hate that Chris has not had the better luck of other people, and so hopefully at Indy we can actually have a good battle and not have me or him get wrecked again like we did last week.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a challenging track, because I've ran those cars at Indy, and it's going to be a lot of fun going there and being on the broadcasting side where I don't have to manage tires.
Yeah, they actually did the 87s in the officials a couple weeks ago, so I got a big idea about how tires wear at Indianapolis.
You heard that, folks. Anybody out there that's running the Vintage Cup this week, you missed your chance to get in the practice with the officials. But looks like Abby's, when we're talking here, Abby's got in front of the Dave Popolinski. Now he's only 1 lap down to Ricky Gonzalez. So if another incident were to happen, he would get back on that lead lap there and be back in the fighting with these guys.
Yeah, I think again, the biggest thing for Popolinski is he's just going to hang in that position. He's in the right position. Abi is the one that's going to fight his way back and figure out a way to get back in this championship hunt. I mean, he came in as a leader and he's down right now, so he's got to figure out a way to get back there. And it's going to be tough if these guys are staying as clean as they are, so to speak, and not bringing out the cautions. But Crockett has made a pit stop and given up the lead to Thaddeus Marshall. He's out there right now, so Thad looking to get back and in this battle here and try and get second place in the Pro 4 division points, with Nobinger being able to get a couple of free positions with Crane and Butler being out of there. He's up to 5th right now, so one more guy drops out and things could get interesting right there. But getting back to you, Dylan, I mean, again, you're going to be covering 3 series for us over here on CRN, being the Trucks, Xfinity, and the Cup Series. Which one of those are you kind of most looking forward to? Which are you least looking forward to, and kind of some reasons why?
I think the most, to me, since I have now found a new passion for these cars, the one I'm looking more forward to is the next gen cars. Believe it or not, I never liked them. I just not my thing. But now that I've actually ran a league in them, I've found a new respect for the next gen cars and what people have to deal with. Carl, I mean, we both ran Backfire, and me and Wes, we run HTL on Monday nights, so we know exactly how the next gen cars are going to react and what we can and what we can't do. The second best will be the trucks. Anything in trucks is always going to be great. Xfinity cars, I'm not really too certain, just because I mean the cars are a little bit tight. You just got to get used to them, but I'm really most excited for the trucks in the next gen series.
Yeah, I certainly you couldn't pay me to run in another next gen series. It's just to me, I running the entire series, and maybe it was due to some of the just complete bozos in the series, making it kind of unworthy of wanting to run again. I mean, obviously in the team that we had, it was fun and we had plenty of fun regardless of what happened. But I mean, the car to me is. I mean, as much as you like it, that's how much I hate it. I think the car is absolute trash. I think it is one of the worst cars on iRacing. We talk about the the 87s being one of the best. I think that is one of the worst. I mean, I've never experienced a car handle as bad as that thing does on road courses, let alone short tracks. But
yeah.
I mean, not only does it take a driver to do it, but it takes a really good driver to do it. I mean, you cannot drive that car at all with any kind of aggression, and that can be fun to a point. But once it gets to the point where you're having to drive about 40, 50 miles an hour slower everywhere, it just it kind of gets to the point. Well, I'm just going to keep it in second gear and just drive around this entire track because it's not fun going any faster. But I mean, there's some guys that know how to handle it, and I know there's definitely some guys that are signed up for that series that will know how to handle that car. So it will be interesting for sure to kind of peek in every once in a while and watch it, because there's some good guys in that series, and from what I hear, there's some more guys looking to sign up as well. So if you're one of those guys, make sure you head on over to the website coreracingle.com, click apply now, and go ahead and we'll get you in that series. Or any of the other series that we offer, but that one will be interesting. I like how the trucks are shaping up. It looks like that's gonna be a pretty good feel for you too.
Oh yeah, the trucks are gonna be up there along with the next gens. Now, me personally, I didn't race a lot in the backfire, so when I go to HTL, me and Wes aren't on teams in HTL, which sucks because me and Wes, we run everything together. It's kind of like me and Eric, but every week I message Wes, what do I do? How do I run this car? How do I run the track? And sometimes he helps, sometimes he doesn't. So, I mean, it's a lot of give and take. And me, personally, I don't like them a lot. Like, I won't do them in officials, ever. Nope. I'd rather do the trucks and Xfinity and 87s, but finally I get to sit back and watch everybody else struggle with the next gens or be really good with the next gens, and while I get to sit and broadcast and see how they do with me up in the booth.
Well, I feel that's kind of like your backhand way of laughing without laughing out loud by saying, you know what, you guys deal with this car now. I'm just going to sit back here and watch you in the booth. So certainly understand that side of it right there, and it'll be fun. I mean, if it's anything like these guys have been putting on the Monday nights and you guys on Thursday nights, these series have just been a blast. And not to toot Core's horn, but toot. We put on some really good races here every single night of the week, the way it seems. I mean, once those series are going to be coming up there, we're going to have every night of the week, short of Saturday, that there's going to be racing going on. So again, if you want to get in on the action, hop over to the website, click apply now. If you want to be a part of it, you can certainly hop in the Discord. And if you want to just watch it, make sure you're hitting that like, make sure you're hitting the subscribe, and check out everything CRN has to offer. Again, we're going to have every series for the core broadcasted, and then possibly even some more outsider action as me and Jimmy are looking for some more broadcasting out there as well. So if you're in another league that's maybe looking for a broadcaster, get them under the Core Racing League or Core Racing Network's banner here, and we'll put on some good shows for you, as long as you put on some good shows on the track.
Yeah, for sure. And not gonna lie, I will say this is gonna be really hard not to say the Core motto on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. It's going to be really, really hard. I'm gonna have to really watch and not blurt it out. But I mean, if it comes out, I do apologize. It's just being in this series, you gotta kind of go with the flow of things.
Absolutely. Well, going with the flow right now, out there in the lead, Matt Crockett out there with about a 0.3 of a second lead, but you see that gap is slowly getting smaller and smaller. as Dane Simpson doing everything he can to try and get around that 10, but 10 doing a little bit of bobbing and weaving out there in front. Dane desperately needs to get to that lead. He needs to win this race to have a chance at getting ahead of both Marshall and Nominger. Right now, as it stands, he would not be in second place. It would be Thad. Well, actually, with Thad being in fourth, it would not be Thad. It would be Nominger slightly winning out in that second place battle, but you see Thad right behind Nominger, maybe trying to help him out a little bit or trying to get a little tandem draft to catch back up, but still a lot to battle for right there in that Pro 4 division. The Pro 2 lights looking a little bit more assured for Poplinski, as he is still out in the lead by 1 lap over Ricky Gonzalez and back to 3 laps over Vishwavasim, as Vishwavasim had the same issues that struck a couple guys earlier between Thad Marshall and Paul Butler, as he got the 15X drive-through penalty or stop-and-go penalty, and that's why you see him going down pit road earlier. So he will be stuck back there 3 laps down, but
Yeah,
again,
you can see that
these...
pit lane time is was really a big difference there with Pepelinski coming in at lap 53 with only a 56-second pit lane time, and then Vishwavasim came in at lap 46 with a 2:20, so he lost the whole minute and 20 seconds there in the pits, which equals a lot more on the track.
Yeah, I mean, it's championship night here, and pretty much 80% of this field that has something to play for. As the 10 sacrifices the lead once again, this has got to be the last pit stop here, and you wonder how much fuel the 96 has there, if he has enough to go to the end. But we'll go ahead and wrap it up as we actually
rolled over.
Yeah, we have a rollover there, and not sure where that came from. I didn't see any contact from anybody, so that's going to be a single car incident with the 54. Not a big shocker there, as Owens usually finds himself in some kind of issues one way or another. And you see him taking a big tumble, and really at this point, I feel like maybe trying to fight with Crane for the freestyle points here, but he does not stick the landing, and therefore won't get the full amount of points as we watch it one more time. And
Gotta see what
looks like
happened.
yeah, it looks like just a bad attempt at a bump draft with the 7, and sent the 7 into the wall a little bit, and yeah, Owens just goes for a roll.
That was almost a little too uncalled for there, as he basically just drove right up on the 7. That was so much slower.
I mean, both those guys, nothing to play for here tonight, so not a shocker that they're mixing it up a little bit here, but a lot of these guys do have a lot to play for. But we'll go ahead and wrap it up here with Dylan. We'll let you go for tonight, but I want to thank you for joining us in the booth. Thank you for joining the CRN family. Obviously, love having you on as a driver, but gonna certainly get a different taste of it in the booth as well. So once again, welcome, and we'll be listening to you real soon.
All right, thanks, guys.
We're about getting towards the end here, getting towards the end of the season, getting towards the end of the race here, as Simpson's still out there in the lead of the Pro 4 division, coming to the line. We're going to have 11 laps to go right now. This race just kind of ticking away, as we had a nice little conversation with Dylan throughout this race, and things have stretched out a bit, and the field is grouped together, but not the way it should be, as really there's only 3 guys on the lead lap in the Pro 4 division, that being leader Simpson, second place Marshall, and third place Crockett. Crockett has already pit on lap 61, just waiting to see if either the 96 of Simpson or Marshall still need to pit in the 87 there. If not, it could really mix it up, and this is going back to what we talked about when it comes to the fuel strategy. You really need to figure out, for these guys, they're going to get 75 laps, but going back to the Pro 2s, how many of those guys need to make a pit stop yet, as it looks like the 846 of Poplinski coming out of the pits right now?
Yeah, I mean, with the green flag pit stops, Coming down pit lane's always a challenge for any car, and especially in a truck that normally you don't make pit stops on. So to put them out here on an asphalt and then try to come down pit lane, you know, and hit, you know, not get penalized, definitely makes things a little challenging. But Dane has done what he needs to do tonight so far, and he is ahead of Thaddeus Marshall there by about 31 seconds, and that Matt Crockett is not too much farther behind Thaddeus Marshall in third. So definitely see if I don't know if how far these trucks can go. I didn't get a fuel mileage or a pit window check on them, so not quite sure.
We're about to find out pretty soon, as we are down to 8 laps to go right now. And you see, it looks like the longest runs that these guys are getting was about 23 laps the way it looks by Marshall and 24 by Nobinger, but you wonder how hard they were pushing it and how many of those were under caution, as we're going to have plenty more than that to finish this thing out. Right now, Simpson on a 20-lap run. He's going to try and need to stretch it out for another 8 laps. That's going to be 6 more than the longest that he's run tonight. Marshall maybe a little bit closer to that mark, as you know, he last pitted 18 laps ago, and he's got another 7 to go, so that'd be about 25, 2 more than what he's used to, as Crockett just gets by him right now. Crockett certainly has enough fuel to make it to the end now, unless, you know, he made a mistake in pit lane. But, you know, if somehow Marshall can save enough fuel, and maybe that's what he's doing here, hanging out behind the 10, this could be your battle right now for the win, because I don't think that 96 is going to have enough fuel to make it to the end.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the pit window that they've done so far, definitely going to be extremely close for Dane.
And there it is right there. He will make that left-hand turn in.
Yep. So, and as these guys are coming in, where are they at right now? They're coming out of
turn 2 right there.
Or 2, yeah. So, definitely we're able to take over the lead here.
As the 54 is still having a little bit of fun, shaking that tail feather a little bit in front of the number 10 of Crockett. Little does he know this is about to be the battle for the lead and potentially the win. Simpson still in the pits, as these guys will come roaring by right now. Still getting his service done still, and finally now launching out of the pits, but he is going to be a fair distance behind. As these guys are exiting turn 2, he is about in the middle of 1 and 2 right now, so nowhere near the draft that he needs to be, as Marshall has gotten back past Crockett into the lead. So, you know, I thought for a while that Marshall might have just hung back behind these guys and maybe try to get a little draft and try and finish out this race. And he just got right back on the lap pedal, and he's going again. As we cross the line right now, 5 to go as he's into the wall. Certainly not going to help his speed right there, but you know, maybe he was saving earlier in this run and he's got a chance to make this thing to the end, but it's going to be tight.
It's going to be extremely tight. He's on 21 laps, you know, with the basically 5 laps to go.
And maybe twice there in a row that the commentators curse, as the 87 diving down into pit lane and diving into pit lane literally as he gets into the barriers coming in. That's certainly not going to help him get into the second place position he needs to, but Dane Simpson having issues on pit lane, not how you want to get in and out of pit lane, especially if you're trying to get second place in points, as he no doubt had a pit road penalty, having to come back in here unless he had an issue and didn't take fuel. But right now, this will give an opportunity to the 87. And the 87 is going to get back out in front of the 96. He is out, and now the question is, how far back is Simpson going to fall? Did he have some kind of issue? Is it a 40-second hold? What the case is, we're not sure yet. But will that give an opportunity to Nobinger? As it looks like he is taking tires now, so maybe he came back out and didn't realize that he had a flat tire or something like that. Really, really shocking to see that happen with the 96 this late in the race. But it looks like, boy, the hits just keep on coming. The 87 back into pit road. I don't think any of these guys want to win second place at this point. I mean, between Nobinger coming in, way too late and being a bunch of laps down the entire race, and now both of these guys having pit road issues. What is going on in the Pro 4 division right now?
In the case of the Monday nights, I don't know. Bigfoot's out there. He's definitely getting his laps in, and this kind of gives him a chance to get maybe a couple of those laps back, depending on how long those guys are in the pits. As Thaddeus Marshall comes back out of the pits again as John Nobinger goes around him, going into one.
Simpson back out there as well as he just joins on the backstretch right there. But Simpson now down 2 laps. The bigger point of that is that he is back behind Paul Owens. So now in 4th place, an extra lap down from Thaddeus Marshall, who was only 1 lap down. He's behind him, but he's only 1 lap down. So both of these guys having their issues, but they are still out ahead of Nobinger. And we are on the last lap. All of that going on as Crockett just doing what he has to do and avoiding Paul Owens there. And it looks like the Bluey Machine gonna find victory lane here at Darlington. Just a nice, quiet run there for the 10 as he's gonna get it done. These guys are going to battle out here, but of course it's not a battle for position like they wanted it to be. Marshall going to take home 2nd place, and we'll see what that does with the points, but that is certainly going to be maybe just shy of what he wanted to get done, but, a good effort nonetheless. But, wow, penalties were the talk of the night. And, you've seen it even with Vishu Vassam having some issues with the wrecks obviously setting him back there, but the championship and 2nd place getting determined by penalties and issues here on the championship night.
Yeah, definitely plagued with some penalties and some just having troubles with the pits, and then maybe some careless driving, but overall, I mean, it was pretty decent and very entertaining, and so the unofficial results as of right now, you have Matt Crockett for Pro 4's Matt Crockett with a win, Thaddeus Marshall in 2nd, Dane Simpson in 3rd. Looks like that last maneuver by Paul Owens put him back in the 4th place. Then John Nobinger in 5th, and then Paul Butler and John Crane as they ended their nights early. For the Pro 2s, you have Dave Pepelinski in 1st, Ricky Gonzalez in 2nd, and Abi Visavasam in 3rd. So it's going to be very close, and I don't have my calculator on me, Carl, with the spreadsheet, but definitely, I'm sure the points are definitely interesting at this moment.
Absolutely interesting, and unless we're missing something here with some bonus points or anything like that, the points battle for 2nd place in the Pro 4 division comes down to 1 point between Nobinger and Marshall, and coming in 5th place in this race was enough for Nobinger to get it done, as he will finish the season again. Still unofficial, but looking at it unofficially, he's going to end with 190 points. Thaddeus Marshall with 189, and Dane Simpson with 183. So that's how close it was at the end of this race, and how big, maybe those penalties cost Marshall, as he had to serve multiple penalties in this race, or he could have been fighting for the win.
Yeah, definitely. It happens. You get into a situation, and whether you're got too many X's because you're having fun out there, and maybe you're not thinking too much about points, but it definitely, when you put the points on paper, it is what it is at the end of the day. So, hopefully, maybe he's missing a point in there somewhere. Maybe he'll have a tie, but it's definitely going to be interesting as those official results will come out, here in a little while after we get done talking with everybody.
The official results for the Pro 2 light division, we talked about how big bonus points and everything could be, and a clean race gets you 3 bonus points here, and that's all B needed to do was get those 3 bonus points, but he was unable to do that, and because of that, he will finish 3 points shy of the championship. It will go to Dave Poplinski as he just completes the month-long run of running Vishwavasham down for that points title. We'll talk to everybody here. That finish in the top 3 of the race here and finish in the top couple in the points. But what a way to end this season! So first guy we will bring in here is going to be Vishwavasham, who unfortunately just finished a little bit shy, just not the race he wanted to have, and got caught up in a couple wrecks, and that put him a couple laps down. But I'll be real shame to see you unofficially lose the championship on the last night of the season, but really good showing for you this entire season. You got a couple wins on the season. Had the points lead going into the night, so it's got to feel like a pretty good season, even though you may have came up a little bit short.
Yeah, it definitely feels like a good season. I wish I would have done a little better tonight, but got caught up with some bad luck, and it is what it is. Every year every season I say this, I'm learning. So I guess this is another one of those I'm learning moments.
Yeah, it's definitely a challenge with these trucks, and with the being multi-class and the Pro 4s being so much faster, it's difficult. Not all our races this season were ovals where, we were doing multiple tracks, whether it's dirt or a rallies style or, a road course or something, where you showed, that you just, you won that fair and square. There was no give me's for that. And, you did a great job this year. So learning or not, you put yourself in a position where, if something would have happened in your favor tonight, you would have, come out the victor. But you definitely did a good job this season.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I basically got the participation trophy of the season. I know that much. I took part in every race. I tried to do the best I can in every one. The road courses, I think I won them, both of them, or the few that we had on our schedule. So I know that's my strength. I played with it, and then every time I come to an oval, I'm just trying to absorb and learn as much as possible. This one was just a little bit more chaotic because it was just, I think everybody was just playing around and having a good time. So it was a good race. I enjoyed it. Had a lot of fun. Would I do it again? Absolutely. Would I do the Pro 2 Light? Probably not, because it's so dang slow. But
Yeah, you guys look like sitting ducks out there tonight. But
it was just painful. First gear was the gear that after I put it in, I'm like, am I even moving? Like what? I thought they were gonna lap me before I got out of first gear. That's how slow it was. So yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, I think even if you had the first pit stall in pit lane there, you put it in first gear, you wouldn't be up to the pit road speed by the end. So, but either way, you did pick up the both the road course wins in this season. Either way, whether we're on road courses or not, a win is a win. So, congrats to both of those. Congrats on a good season and a second place here in the point standings. So, anybody you want to give a shout out to one last time?
No, the usual. So first of all, just the whole league, just everybody, good bunch of guys, always having fun. To be honest with you, I've tried other leagues, and I in the sense, I just trying to join other late races in other leagues, and every time I join a race in our league, I realize what a great bunch of guys we have, and what good competition we have, and everybody's just having a good time, other than just being serious and yelling at each other or whatever it is. So I got to give a credit to the league that it's just fun racing with these guys, and that's what keeps me in this thing. And I'll come back and do it again if we have another one of these seasons.
Absolutely, well, we appreciate it. We appreciate the good talk. We'll try and get through these other interviews quick, so you're not just sitting up there by yourself in the general chat, waiting for somebody else to talk to. But either way, once again, congrats on the season, buddy.
Thanks, guys. Okay.
All right, that was your second place finisher in the points, third place here tonight in the Pro 2 Light Division. We'll bring in our second place finisher, Ricky Gonzalez. Looked like you were definitely having some fun out there, and maybe trying to avoid some of the incidents as well, as it looked like nobody could avoid the 54 there for a little bit. But you were able to come home in second place. But it talking to a B, it just sounded like these trucks were just so slow that it had to be painful at times.
Yeah, I blame the league owner on that one. We need to have a conversation with him. What's his phone number?
All of a sudden, we lost Ricky Gonzalez from the booth.
Oh man.
But no, I mean, you guys definitely had a good time out there, and you know, it looked like you had a good time pretty much the entire season whenever you showed up here. So, had to be fun out there, just racing around these guys one last time for the season. So, you know, why don't you give us a rundown of the race, and then give us some whatever thanks that you want to give.
Yeah, we just wanted to come out and have some fun. I knew it wasn't in the championship battle. During practice, we were all just fooling around, having a good time, and then it carried over to the race. Me and Abby were trying to race each other clean. We were in the Discord chat together. I mean, we were laughing the whole time during the race, and Abe didn't want to get a part of this, so it worked out for him for some reason. He's in victory lane, and me and Abby are sitting here just with interviews. So we're gonna have a talk with Mr. Plublinski after this. But no, this whole season, man, it's been fun. I always like trying new different things with whether it's different series or whatnot. So appreciate everything that y'all have done for Core. I know I say that all the time, but y'all really don't understand how much gratitude I have for y'all just because y'all have helped me become the racer I am now. So appreciate both of y'all. We still got vintage, so it's not a see you later or goodbye. I'll see you Thursday.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We'll see you Thursday, and I know you're going to be looking forward to racing some of these other new series that we're going to be coming up here with the trucks, the Xfinity and Cup as well. So this will certainly be you know, the last time on Monday nights for now that we'll be talking to you, but we will be talking to you soon, I'm sure, in one of these podium positions in one of the other series. So good job out there tonight, and good job with, you know, avoiding some of the wrecks, maybe not all of them, but a good fun night, and we'll be talking to you soon.
Yes, sir. Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
All right, that was second place, Ricky Gonzalez, and we will bring in our, or at least I thought we were going to bring in our championship driver. It looks like he has left here for now, so we will go ahead and start bringing in our guys up there. In third place, Jimmy, why don't you go ahead and take third place in the Pro 4s?
So Mr. Dave Simpson and Jimmy Carl in the booth, you copy?
Yeah, I got a copy. How you doing, Jimmy?
Hey, not too bad. It looks like you were due for a win there tonight, and it looked like some pit lane troubles. Is that what happened with you right there towards the end?
100%. Just an absolute mistake on my part. I got caught speeding in the pit. I should have followed Matt in and used my head a little bit and been able to follow along with him. I thought I had a little bit of speed on him, so yeah, I should have went, didn't, and I think it cost me big.
Yeah, definitely moved you back. You know, you fell short of Thaddeus Marshall there at the end as well, as he was having pit problems as well. Definitely entertaining race tonight, as there was some incidents and some flipping wrecks, and I mean, it just constantly kept us entertained. But you know, overall, I mean, you pulled off a third. I mean, that wraps up this season here with the multi-trucks, and I know you're scheduled to probably run some of the other series here in the upcoming races. So, you know, if you have anything to share with us, and, you know, if you have anybody to give a shout out, you know, I'll give you that time to do that.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely looking forward to the IndyCar League. They're not a vehicle that I've ever driven before, so going to be a big learning curve there, and we'll see how that goes. Big shout out to you guys for running this. It's just been a fantastic season to go to so many places, so many different places in these trucks. It's been absolutely amazing. Big shout out to the guys at work watching, all the rest of the guys in the league, and wife and kids.
Yeah, and then like I said, you know, obviously good to see you around, and look forward to either competing with you or watching and televising and seeing how you do.
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully a little cleaner next time.
Yeah, a little rubbins racing, no harm, no foul. It happens. That's what we do. You know, just have a good time and, you know, relax and keep the tempers down as possible, even though sometimes we get a little flared up at the moment. But, you know, that's it's all good, man. And you know, we definitely learn from each other. So again, congratulations on the third place tonight, and, you know, we'll see you around.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too.
That was third place in the Pro 4 division, Dane Simpson. I will bring in our second place guy tonight. And, kind of the same story. It seemed like pit road issues not only cost you the win here tonight, but cost you second place in the points, as unofficially it looks like you were going to finish 1 point shy of John Nominger for that second place position. So just kind of walk us through the end of that race, and or maybe even from the middle, and tell us how you kind of started slipping back there towards the end.
Honestly, it started when I got the drive-through after getting slight contact with Paul Butler. I mean, me and Owens made the slightest contact, and there was a 4X. So I mean, you could bump draft, but you barely hit him in a turn. You were getting a 4X all night, and that's what kind of went downhill. So I was already behind the 8 ball there, and then just went to undercut Matt and Dane, and just Matt pit the same time I was going to, so I knew just had to stay out and try to run the tank out.
Well, certainly put on a good effort. I mean, they qualified on the pole, gave you the best option there, especially with Nominger not getting in here in time. And really, that's the chance that you needed. I mean, if Nominger's in here on time and he's running with you guys, it could be a completely different story. But that gave you that option right off the bat, and depending on how things shook out, it gave you that option to try and run him down for second place in the points. Unfortunately, coming up just a little bit short, but all in all, it's got to feel like a pretty good season. This is your 8th race, obviously all 8 being in the top 5 with that 1 win. So it's got to feel like a decent season, but maybe just not exactly what you're looking forward to. But again, it looked like you guys had a lot of fun, a lot of mixing up when you're out there.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I wish I could have made more races, but I mean, other stuff took place, but the 8 races I did run, it was fun. I was able to keep up with guys that normally I didn't think I'd have a chance with, especially with these trucks. They're a ton of fun to drive, and I hope this series comes back.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard that from a lot of guys now that they really like this series. They really like the Mazda series, and really just wish more guys would would take the chance and try out these series, just because it's a slower vehicle and a vehicle on tracks that you may not think. Don't be afraid of it. I mean, like I was saying to Jimmy at the beginning of this broadcast, I don't see why we couldn't just get like 60 guys out here on this track and just have a ball with it, because it would be a trip. I mean, you probably have 10 guys rolling down the backstretch at one time, but it looked like it was a bunch of fun out there driving around everybody.
Oh yeah, it was tons of fun. I mean, at one point I watched Paul Owens doing barrel rolls down the front stretch, and I was just laughing the entire time.
Well, I think everybody laughs when they see that 54 rolling. So, but yeah, I mean, it's again, maybe not the season you wanted to have, but you certainly had a blast. So, we'll give you one last chance here to give you your shout outs.
I'd like to thank you and Jimmy for broadcasting, and Core for putting on the league, Hood Up Motorsports, SG71 Photography, JDM Design, CFM Esports, and family for watching, and my fiance for always supporting me in this.
Well, thank you for joining us in the racing. I mean, you definitely made it interesting for a lot of these races here this year. We'll certainly be going to be seeing you out here in the other series that Core offers, so this won't be the last time we talk to you, but it'll be the last one we talk to you for now on Monday night, so we will talk to you soon.
All right, sounds good.
All right, Jimmy, we'll let you take care of our first place winner here on the last race of the season, Matt Crockett, winning the Pro 4 division.
Hey, Matt, Jimmy, and Carl up in the booth. Copy.
Yes, sirs.
Hey, I mean, you did what you needed to do tonight, and you got your blue truck up there, or your Bluey truck up there on the podium. So congratulations on the first place, and definitely I wanted to thank you for coming in partially through the season here and coming back to us and giving us a good show. And it was definitely good to see you running with these guys. And why don't you go ahead and tell us about the race a little bit, and if you had any complications or anything that you would change.
Well, anything I would change is pit road entry. It was kind of a pain in the butt. It wanted to always go towards the yellow barrels, so I always had to quick downshift and really slow down to avoid that. But kind of forced everybody's hand early at the end there, kind of pitted a little early, so get fuel to get that run. So took tires a few times while I was running in the back, let everybody kill each other basically, and surprised got the checkered.
Yeah, definitely did that, and using that strategy and kind of hanging the back as the early incidents happened, and brought out a few cautions tonight. No, nothing too big, but with the smaller fields and people getting eliminated, definitely made it a little easier to run green flags. How interesting did you find it, coming up on the Pro 2 trucks?
Oh, it was hilarious. A lot of times, they'd give plenty of room and just work around them. But that one restart when a couple of us were behind the Pro 2s, it was just like, oh crap, we can't pass them before the start finish line. So literally just shoving them down the front stretch, and we were all laughing, having fun with it. And it was just a blast, honestly.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun to see, and especially those challenging moments like that where you have to start behind the slower truck, but definitely made a good show tonight. And just want to congratulate on your first place finish, and if give you the time to give any shout outs if you have any.
Yeah, definitely want to shout out. My parents are actually watching right now in Arizona, so hi. Obviously, my wife, my kid. My kid wanted this truck actually to be made, and his name is actually over the door, so he's a big Bluey fan. So I went ahead and did my Ford Bluey truck, and he approved of it, and so I've been running this. And thank you for everything from Core putting this on, and looking forward to the next series and next race.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to seeing you out there in the next series and any other series that you decide to join with Core. And we had a good time just watching, and even a better time even getting the chance to talk to you when you're up here on the podium. So again, congratulations, and let you go celebrate with your family and say, give a shout out to your parents out there and your wife and your kids. So again, congratulations, and we'll see you later.
Thank you so much. Have a good night.
That was your winner on the last race of the season here, being Matt Crockett and the 10. And it's always fun when you're able to give the the kid a shout out for for giving you the paint scheme idea, and now being able to show it to him in the victory lane. So great job by Crockett to kind of put a little exclamation point on the season. But doing it a little bit differently tonight, and figuring out a way to get it done when he pretty much had nothing that he can do the entire night. John Nominger being able to win second place over Thaddeus Marshall by 1 point. Again, still unofficial. Still need to double check the the dot the I's and the cross the T's. But it looks like you got in here late. You were a bunch of laps down. Had no shot to really catch back up to everybody unless it was a wreck fest, and you still came away with second place. Got to feel good about that.
Yeah, apparently the timer on the stove was like 10 or 15 minutes off. And so I was just cooking dinner, going like, I got time to get in there for quali. Wait, oh crap.
Well, it certainly worked out, and maybe not a bad thing missing qualifying, as it looked like a lot of these guys were getting into each other multiple times, and unfortunately for some of the guys, it ended in earlier nights, but that worked in your favor. I mean, that was really the only chance you had of passing anybody, is if people's nights ended early, and a 1 point victory is all it was, and that's all you needed it to be. And it took those big hard wrecks, unfortunately, by Crane and by Butler for them to fall out of the running and get you in there. But I mean, even still, it looked like excuse me, when you were up with the Pro 2 light division, you had plenty more speed than them, but you were kind of messing around and having some fun, especially with Victor Vassam and the other guys up there. So you certainly had fun, even though you were kind of out of the running from the beginning.
Oh yeah, it was fun. I was like, hey, let's see if we can push Avi a little further forward. And then I think at one point, me and Ricky were both trying to push him at the same time. That doesn't work.
No, not so much, not so much. But again, congrats on your second place in the championship here. Obviously Chris was going to be tough to beat, but to be able to kind of be the best of the rest is still going to feel pretty good. So we'll give you some time to give some shout outs here.
just for you and Jimmy doing the broadcast. It's been great all season, and thanks, Carl, for all the hard work you put in for this league. I mean, it's a lot of fun.
We appreciate that. We appreciate you guys out here. I mean, again, we say it all the time. You guys put on the product on the track and make it just a lot easier for us up here in the booth. I mean, it usually doesn't take too much from us to be able to put on a good broadcast. You guys do all the hard work out there. So, congrats once again. And I know you got your name in the hat for a bunch of other series. So we will certainly be talking to you soon.
All right, we'll see you later.
All right, that was John Nominger, your second place finisher in the points, fifth place in the Pro 4 division here tonight. But, I want to give these guys their due, a little bit longer here tonight with the interviews, but want to try and talk to a lot of these guys in the field, the guys that were up there in this race, but also the guys there in the championship. A lot of these guys have talked to us, pretty much the entire season about this being fun and being different, and wish that it wasn't going away as quick as it is, but it is. And we have some other series that are going to be replacing it. Obviously, we got the Mazda series wrapping up next week, and then a short turnaround before we start the IndyCar series. And a bunch of guys already have thrown their hat in there for the IndyCar series. I think the tally's up to 24 drivers right now, so it'll certainly be fun watching those guys, and that will be a very competitive series. But these fun little off series every once in a while, just keep everything nice and fresh, and having a good group of guys in here that can race hard and also kind of mess around a little bit and have some fun certainly makes it interesting.
Yeah, definitely like to see those the guys come out here, and not everybody likes to drive the trucks or likes dirt, and and it's probably why it's not so popular, because it's it's not something that you drive every day. But it's definitely interesting to put these trucks somewhere where they probably don't belong, and you get these good races out here. And almost everybody we talked to tonight was saying how they were having fun, they were laughing and goofing. So maybe not so serious of a series, but definitely it's a time to relieve some stress and just kind of get away from work and whatever. And definitely they had a lot of fun. And some of these guys out here are trying pretty hard, but might get frustrated by something as like speeding in the pits, or maybe they're a little bit serious than some of the other guys around them, so that could be frustrating to some. But in the most part, the guys that were here, and they've driven around all season around each other, and pretty much race after race, just saying how much fun they had. So I know for myself, and for probably can say the same thing for you, I enjoyed just being up here, just watching these guys have a good time, and being able to share this with their families, and them being able to go back and rewatch this.
I mean, we've talked about it multiple times that your league and your series is only as good as the drivers that are in it, and that doesn't just necessarily mean how good they are as a driver. That it really comes down to attitude. And you can have some really serious leagues out there, but a lot of times that comes with a little too serious of an attitude. I mean, at the end of the day, you still got to be out here. You still got to be trying to have fun. I mean, there's a time to certainly be serious and make sure you're hitting your marks and everything on the track. But at the same time, when you come in with that tool of an attitude, and in the Discord, it certainly carries out there on the track, and it just kind of sours the attitude for everybody. So really happy that we don't have that in core. I mean, a lot of these guys will come out and hang out, whether it's a race night or not, and it's just a good group of guys. So again, if you're looking to get into a good league, whether it's NASCAR driving, whether it's off-road, whatever it is, we pretty much have a little bit of everything. So head on over to the website, coreracingleague.com, and hit that apply now. And again, if you like everything that we're putting out there, we got plenty more that's going to be coming up here. I mean, we talked to Dylan here tonight, our new broadcaster. Wes obviously celebrating his big news tonight, and he's going to be joining Dylan on Friday nights. But everything is broadcasted here in Core, and looking to get in some more there too. So make sure you like and subscribe out there. But next broadcast for us is going to be back again on Thursday night. We talked a little bit about it earlier. Going to be back in the Vintage Series at Indianapolis, so it should be a really good one there, as that is a unique track, a big 2.5 mile track. But hard, left-hand corners for these cars to handle without trying to chew up those tires. So make sure you tune into that one. That's going to be a good one. But for tonight, that's going to do it here for myself and Jimmy here at Darlington. Thursday night is our next broadcast. Make sure you tune in. We will see you at the track.
Peace.